I'm stuck! The greatest evil scientist in the world! Stuck in a pipe. How could things get any worse?
Childhood, a time of frivolity, a place of wonder, an earnest playground of unfiltered experience. Many of us have a nostalgia for this innocence. If there is a genre that encapsulates the essence of this, it is the 3D platformer. It's so intrinsic to its form that all the games of the genre, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Mario 64, Banjo and Kazooie, and the LEGO games are all catered to younger demographics. The only time there are ever adult-oriented 3D platformers are when they are specifically designed to exploit the seeming childhood innocence of its wholesome cartoonish aesthetic in order to subvert it for comedy, such as in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Right, that's it. Piss off. I've got some cats to see. Bloody things. I hate those bloody cats.
Or the Family Guy video game, for a couple examples. You rarely see a non-comedic, serious adult game that also happens to be a 3D platformer. Why is that? What is inherently childish about jumping on platforms in a 3D environment? Fighting games, shooters, RPGs, strategy games, even puzzle and racing games have plenty of examples catered to older audiences. Even 2D platformers arguably do. So maybe there is just something childlike about the colorful cubes and simplistic level design. Maybe there is something about this specific free-flowing manipulation of time and space that resembles the mind of a child. The exploration and discovery of the collectathon, the verticality and ascending to great heights from humble beginnings, and the evidence that grand things come in small packages. These games usually have fantastical settings, and when they don't, it's only to rebel against it. In Crash Bandicoot, you are a marsupial Frankenstein, a lab rat, fighting your way through industrial areas in order to overcome your conditioning. The last level, the lab, involves crates that trigger doors and platforms. Using operant conditioning to condition yourself, you overthrow your evil scientist creator and escape to your freedom. In SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom, you fight robots created by Plankton and his incompetence. The final boss is a robot version of yourself. You literally destroy your robot brain. The 3D platformer is Dionysian. You don't think much beyond your next jump. You are always in the moment, like a child. Oh, and in Spyro the Dragon, you fight guys with machine guns. Or at least you did, because in the remaster, they made them shoot purple stuff for some reason, because everything has to be lame now. That's right, all of these games have been remade. People have great nostalgia for these games. Unfortunately, even with the best graphics, it's impossible to completely immerse oneself in these titles the same way we once did. Speedrunners have completely torn these games apart, revealing a lot of their flaws and exploits. Although the silver lining to this is this has created a new way for adults to enjoy these games. And these remakes are great, and look great, but they lack attention to detail in some places, and they change certain things to be politically correct, which is annoying. It's difficult to not let the cynical Apollonian brain take over. One notices the lack of complexity, as well as all the warts the mechanics and game design have. One notices the political motivations behind the changes, which are already jarring if you are familiar with the originals. And finally, one notices that they can be doing other things with their time, rather than playing a kid's game. And just because they bought a remake to artificially make it new, that doesn't mean they aren't just playing the same game for the 40th time. Our nostalgia only takes us so far. We have lost our childhood innocence, in a way. Alice, Madness Returns, is perhaps the only serious adult take on the 3D platformer genre. Alice has lost her childhood innocence. She is severely traumatized, and in therapy. She escapes into Wonderland, but even there, the dark and disturbing seeps in. It subverts the 3D platformer, but not to comedic effect, but to tackle hard-to-discuss subject matter in a shocking and creative way. I won't get into details, both not to be depressing and to not spoil the game, but I will say the ending is the peak of the evil rational controller being defeated by the triumph of the imaginative mind. May we do the same and conquer our own controlling robot brains. The 3D platformer is an important genre. We desire our childhood innocence almost as much as we desire minikits, and much like a minikit, we don't really understand what it is, but we are nevertheless drawn to it. Our nostalgia drives us to pursue a more fantastic realm. We may not be able to fully be a kid again, but we can jump back to it from time to time. Thank you for joining me down this rabbit hole. Until next time, ask yourself, what's in a meme?